You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
Tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, as always, for that lovely introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell, the Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. This is episode 450. AJ, good grief. I cannot believe that. 450 episodes and counting. That doesn't feel like 450. It feels more like 150. But no, in this episode, I have a very special guest, as you see the title of this video. But before we get into that, you should already had seen the interview with Sarah Tibiasu. I'd like to thank her for taking some time with me the other day. It was a good interview. I'd like to thank Rose DePaula from University of Maryland women's basketball for setting that up. So stay tuned for more interviews as the season. Well, now that we're now past the collegiate season, but as also in the future. So stay tuned to that for more. The NFL draft grades for the first round were completed. Now we got to work on the Ravens and Commanders respectfully. Looking like sometime tomorrow or Monday at the latest. And then the WNBA preseason has already started. The Washington Mystics lost today. It was close, but it's going to be a long season. So I'm not looking forward to that, but that's neither here nor there, but that's okay. You can also follow me on Twitter. I'll make sure that's in the description below. You can follow my work this season. This will be my fourth season now covering the Washington Mystics from mdsportsblog.com, and as well as also work with TeamNBSMedia. It's great for the opportunities, but that's enough talk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my second South Carolina 803 legend that I've interviewed. The last person was the great Alana Coates, former Lady Gamecock, and also two former Washington Mystics, Chicago Sky. But this one, this was a little special because I feel like I can say this publicly as somebody that is, I think, one of the biggest reasons I think why the game has grown to what it is today. I think she's actually, in my opinion, one of the reasons I got into the other side of the W. I think trying to tell the stories, but also trying to break into the game and trying to build a rapport, learn the side of journalism and different things like that. So, well, that's being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give a warm welcome to Lo, ladies and gentlemen, from the committee. Big Lo.
Hey, y'all.
What's going on? Welcome to the podcast.
What's up? Glad to be here.
Thank you. Books. Yes, it is a privilege to have you here on the podcast. I feel like I'm interviewing a legend, in my opinion. But you're doing big things with the committee. You've did a great piece with Diamond Johnson when she transferred to Norfolk State. And then you got to also do another piece with Slam Magazine with the great Dawn Staley. I'm jealous, but no, in all seriousness, just really, really want to give you your flowers of what you've been doing so far in this space, and whether that's on the collegiate or the women's side of sports.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. So could you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Ooh, That's always so hard because I feel like it's nothing to say. I'm Lauren. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm an 803 girl, a Gamecock through and through. Been going to games, all of them, since I was like 8. So I'm not new to it. I know South Carolina just got this, not just, but just came into this big name and big women's hoop school. But no, this is literally in my blood. And yeah, that's really it. Just really love women's basketball. Of course, I love the Gamecocks, but I just like women's basketball as a whole, and I have since I think I was 12 years old. Really getting into it, and here I am, still talking about women's basketball.
Love it. So that's actually transitions into our conversation. So where actually did that come from? Did that come from a sibling, one of your siblings? Your sibling? I know you have a brother, but like your mom, dad. Where did that love passion come from?
So it's so funny because when I just started playing, but I wanted to play soccer. My mom was like, we don't do outside. You're going to play basketball. And I actually hated it at first, but then like I was scared of the buzzer and all, I hated it. But then somewhere along the way, like I would run off the court crying every time the buzzer went off. Like seriously, like all jokes aside, every time. And then somewhere along the way, I guess I just kept playing and I started to like it. But I was always been super just naturally like athletic. It's pictures of me when I was like 5. And you could see cuts in my arms and stuff. So I've just always been super athletic. And so I just started playing and I was decent. Our athleticism really carried me. I wasn't blessed to have like be super, super knowledgeable about like just what the sport has grown into and like super knowledgeable on the AAU and the training and stuff. I literally was just playing off of love and athleticism. Like I was decent, and so I just fell in love with the game. I wasn't blessed to go play in college or any of that, but that didn't take away my love for the game. So I just got on Twitter, tweeting about it because I loved it, and literally, here we are. Literally, that's how it happened.
Was it something you ever wanted to consider on the collegiate, even professional level?
Like, as far as like working or like playing?
Playing.
Oh, when I think back on it now, I just don't even think I just think I was so ignorant to all of it. Like I knew like I played AU and we had to register for the clearinghouse and I knew people played in college, but the whole process of it and what you had to do, I was very ignorant to it. So I don't even really remember really thinking about it. I just didn't know. Like it just wasn't, we had a really, really good team in my area and most of those girls went to play for, one went to play for North Carolina, a lot of them played for South Carolina. But I just think I wasn't in that elite bracket. So for where I was, it just was kind of like, I just didn't know really. So I didn't even think I really, really had the dream because I just didn't know really. Kind of weird.
I understand. When you were playing basketball, was there anyone that anytime you matched up against as a rival, let's say, every time you saw them in the gym, you letting people in the gym know I'm in the building?
Oh, I was trying to do that anyway. I didn't care. Like I always say it's different now because when the girls hoop now, I feel like you have this really, really elite girls and everybody else is kind of sorry, right? Mm-hmm. But when I played, like I was going to the gym and playing with guys like all the time. Like I wanted to play. During the summertime, we was in the gym hopping all the time. So I felt like back then when I played, you had the really, really, really elite girls, but you still had to be able to hoop for real, to be on the court. Now I feel like it's not like that. So I didn't care who I was playing. I was trying to beat their head in. Didn't care. And I was very, I think it's because my first coach, I was very defensive minded. So I was just trying to lock up everybody. I was a rebounder. And I was just trying to be a beast and like snatch it over people's head. Just crazy. Just foolishness.
Do you have a favorite memory?
I would say one game I forgot what year it was. We played a team, was it Hartsville? I think it was Hartsville, and they had a girl that was going to be a walk-on at South Carolina. I don't know how we won that game, but we won it. That was probably my biggest memory. I don't really remember what happened, but I know when they walked in the gym, I was like, I don't think we're going to win this game. We beat them, and I don't know how we did it. But we did it.
Determination and effort.
Mm-hmm.
When you got into South Carolina, when did it like click to say like from you playing it and then now like, well, I can even now talk about it. Like, where did that come from?
So I started out at College of Charleston, which is a school down here in South Carolina. I transferred back home to South Carolina, and I just remember being in the gym playing basketball. Literally, I would go to class, I would eat my food, and I would go to the gym and hoop to 12 at night, or like maybe 11:45, so we can rush to the caf and get a pizza before it closed, and then go to bed. That was every day. And I think then, like I said, the girls in my area that were really elite that played for South Carolina, there was my homegirl, so I was naturally around them. And I think that's kind of when Twitter started to pick up. And I just would tweet about basketball. It never was a goal to do media or be an analyst, or no, I just was literally just getting on Twitter talking about basketball. And then I think naturally just how South Carolina grew, I was just here and I would just tweet about it and talk about it. Oh my gosh, it's amazing, like what this team's saying. And then it came some like stuff with people are early on starting to say little stuff about Dawn when she started being on her rise. So I just saw all of that, was tweeting about it. I went to grad school for sports management, sports administration, just tweeting through that process and writing papers through that process. And it never was like a goal to be a thing. It just kind of
happened overnight.
Yeah.
I like that. Mm-hmm. So like when you've seen South Carolina as a basketball program, you know, when Dawn came in, Dawn basically took it from the ground and it's basically now where it's in my top two, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes.
So you've seen it throughout the years. Mm-hmm. Can you speak on what you could say being a South Carolinian and being a fan of the Gamecocks, is what makes you most proud of being a fan?
I think it's hard to kind of grasp. You know how you could be a star and you could be really, really, really good at something, right? Mm-hmm. But then some people could do that and it's not really anything behind it. It's not really like a feel good or a culture behind it. You know, like you're just really good and that's you. I think what Dawn has done is not only being really, really good at basketball and really good at getting the girls where they need to be, but she's built such a phenomenal culture and such a phenomenal feel and a feel good around it, and just kind of change the landscape in Columbia. People weren't watching women's basketball. What? Like, she made it like a South Carolina fams. It's about basketball, but it's not, you know? And I think the thing I'm most proud of is not just the wins and losses, but just the culture and just the feel of what she built. You know, I feel like that it's kind of hard to put into words, but some people could just be good and just, okay, you're just really, really good and great. But then some stuff could just make you feel. Perfect example is kind of like, I don't want to say no name. I'm not going to say anybody's name for the other one because I don't want it to sound bad. But perfect example is like Asia, right? She's really, really good. But just like that, the commercial today, it was very culture.
Culture, yes.
It was. So she is who she is. She's a legend in her own right because she's good, but she got a little more oomph behind it to me because it's a culture, it's a feel good. Everybody don't possess that. You know?
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
So I think that's the best part to me, is the culture and the feel good behind it. But I like the wins too, but I think the culture and the feel good.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you coming from a program like Temple, and then you, again, coming into a program like South Carolina where, you know, it's different in terms of players, and it's like, okay, now we're going to build this my way. And like to see like progressively, because, you know, being a Maryland fan, but also covering them, like when she first like started building up to where she is now, it was like, oh, like in a couple of years, like, damn, she's going to build something like it's going to be untouchable. So
yes.
Yep.
I think that's my favorite part. Just it's just a feel I like. That's my favorite part about it.
I do actually have a question. As I want to clear this up. A friend of mine, AJ, he wanted me to clear this up, but South Carolina as a whole, as a state, okay, I wanted to debunk this myth. He claimed he went down there about a year or so ago for a wedding or something, and outside of Charleston and from the other city, he said it was basically all the same. It's country. Can you debunk that?
Yeah, that's not true. Now it is areas that are very country, for sure. Like, and if you coming from Charleston up, yes, you were in the country. You really were. Like, you had to come through. Oh yes, you was in the country, but Charleston's not like that. Columbia, where I'm from, isn't like that. Greenville isn't like that. So it's definitely south. Some of it's very country, but a lot of it's not. Like, some people that you talk to from South Carolina don't sound like me. Like, some of it's very country.
I got you. You know, you look at South Carolina as a whole. Can you give me your top 5 Gamecocks of all time? I put you on the spot.
Asia.
Okay.
Actually. Aaliyah. I'm gonna add Tiffany Mitchell every time.
Okay.
I think I got to throw in Camilla. 2 championships. I have to. Right? I have to.
That's fair.
Asia, Aaliyah, Camilla, Tiffany Mitchell. I don't know the last one.
Lisa Gray?
I could give her the nod, but I do think there's other girls too that was there all 4 years. I'm just like, can I do that? And then if I want to give it to a transfer, like, I would think I would have to give it to somebody. Now, this is not my top 4. Okay, I gave you my top 5. This is my caveat.
Okay.
If I added a transfer, right? To me, I think Leach, that's my dog. She did her thing. Camilla would be the one unimpactful transfer, but the transfer that changed the game for South Carolina, to me, if I had to pick a transfer, is Tahina Pow.
I agree, from Oregon, yes.
Yes, that is a transfer to, in my opinion, that changed the game for South Carolina, personally, because her last season, she didn't have a phenomenal shooting season. She just didn't have a great season.
I agree.
But she changed the way that you were talking about South Carolina basketball. First, pound to paint. Tina came in. That game with Maryland, her first year.
Don't bring that up, please.
I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
No, just kidding.
So I do think her this past season just wasn't her best season, so it kind of humped back down to in the paint, and then having like girls who weren't as big. But I do think she kind of changed the way that she changed South Carolina.
Would you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good?
Would you agree with this year compared to last year? I know the difference. Obviously, not having like a Camilla, obviously, I think made the difference. Mm-hmm. But do you think that kind of played a role in terms of her numbers from where it was last year, the way they look this year?
No, I just think she had a down season.
Okay.
I think she was also trying to focus on defending and focus on, okay, where can I be better at? I'm good at that, so let me work on what I could be better at. I think it's just a case of just not a great season and just
trying to do too much.
Yeah, and worrying about draft.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, when you guys won the championship, they were saying that she should come off the bench. When reality she should not have. It was at one point in the season, it was somebody should start and she comes off the bench.
It was probably late. And it was a bad idea. No. No. But one thing I say about people have bad seasons, but as long as you're working hard, I can't be mad. So
I agree with that. I wanted to ask you about your article with Dawn. Could you talk about how that came about?
Oh, yeah. So one day, I think I was driving home from work? And I got a DM from, I'm like, who is this DMing me? The head of Slam. And I'm looking, I'm like,
is this real?
Yeah. He said, hey, Lo, can you call me? I said, I was like, okay, like, sure. So I called him and he was like, hey, I know this is short notice, but we want you to do da 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 da, and you'll be da 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 da. I was like, are you serious? Like, I know you are. I think that I like who you are, and I watch your tweets, and I know you like South Carolina, and I know you have camaraderie with Don, and da da da, and we having this, and it'll be like in 3 days in Columbia. That's what happened. That's what happened.
So like when you did the interview with Don, was that like at a like a library restaurant? Like how did
we went to campus, which was fine with me, familiar. I've been in that gym so many times. I played pickup there, worked camps there. Like it's just, being from there. And I just went in and sat. Some of the girls were still doing their workouts. Dawn had her photo shoot, and then we went up to her office or something and did the interview. So we was just in the facility. But yeah, that's what happened. He literally was like, hey, can you call me? That's literally what happened.
Do you feel like for that moment, was that like your inner child had like exploded? Like, wow, I'm interviewing one of your idols.
Yeah, I'm like, what? First of all, what the heck? Second of all, just going there, I'm like, this is somewhere I've been so many times, but this time is like so different. Like, I've been in this gym like all hours of the morning, just chilling in the gym, playing pickup, like being a kid, and now like what? Playing working camps. I've coached helped coach my high school team, which is not far from campus. I'm coaching camps in here, and now it's like, yeah, come here and do this. Huh? Yeah, it's just kind of it's just like insane. Like, and I was nervous. I'm like, why are you nervous? You've been here plenty of times. You talked to Don plenty of times. Why are you nervous? But it just was different. I was nervous.
No, because I still think, to me, that's one of my favorite articles. I read it from time to time, especially when it first came out. I read at least about 10 times. I was like, damn, that's a good interview.
Thank you.
And I was like, wow. I felt like, in my opinion, that's where I knew, like, yeah, she's definitely going places.
Thank
you. Something.
Thank
for
you.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you're speaking on Dawn. I know you've been an avid fan of the W, as well as I know you was part of the committee. As I said in the intro, you're one of the reasons why I got into this field on the side of the W and trying to invest and trying to tell stories and other things like that. Could you give me your top 5 W players of all time?
No, that's too hard. I can't do that.
Okay.
I don't think I could. No, I cannot. But I can give you one of my favorites who is really, really good. One of my favorites ever is Rebecca Brunson. I love her. Because you know how I said, like, when I used to play, I just like to rebound and go through and defend and go through people's chests. That's how she was. That's one of my favorites. Top 5, that's so hard. Oh my God. No, I can't.
I respect it.
No.
I got
That's
you.
Too hard. That's too hard. Oh my God. No. I keep trying to think about it like, can I do it? No, I cannot.
I totally understand. Now, my next question is obviously it's about Diamond Johnson. Because especially I know how you are, especially for Black women in this sport, and you ride and you want to make sure that they, number one, have a voice, but also too that hey, like, they deserve their respect, their flowers. How did that relationship between you two come about?
How did it? Wow. I think how did it? Like it wasn't. It's so funny because I feel like everything you ask me, it comes so. I never try to do too much. I try to just let stuff flow. And I think literally, because I think we met on social media. It wasn't anything crazy. Just tweeting about her naturally without like knowing her at all. And I guess, she must have saw the tweets. We got her on a committee spaces one day. And I think after spaces, I always reach out and say, hey, thank you for coming. Just to open up a line of communication and just really thank them for coming. And just literally throughout that and just meeting people around her, close to her, that's just how the relationship blossomed. And when she was transferring schools, she was like, hey, like, I want to do this. I think we would make a video, be perfect for it. And that's what we did. And then a guy named Kendrick, he's like a videographer. He's really good. He worked for South Carolina in undergrad, and now he's with USA Basketball. He did it with us, and it was really good. So we're just a natural just bond, and that's how it happened. It's so crazy. It seems crazy, but yeah, just tweeting about her and her game, and then just naturally meeting her through social media, and it just came about that way. And we got together and did a thing.
When she told you that she was transferred to Norfolk State, and like you being the one to break that news, like for you, did you feel like that was a like, wow, like this is somebody that's number one comfortable coming to me and saying, hey, I trust you to break this information?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I didn't know where she was going until we met up that day. And I was asking her. She told me, I don't remember what school she told me at first. She lied and to play a joke on me. I was like, okay. Then she told me, I was like, oh, that's really dope. Like, that's really, really cool. And I think, like she kind of said in the video, like, you know, one, she did trust me with it, but two, like I just been in situations at this point too that I'm just like maybe not feel as comfortable, or I just don't trust what I'm being told or anything like that. So I want to go somewhere that I trust. I want to go somewhere that feels familiar, and I want to do my thing. So I do appreciate her for trusting me with that, because that's probably one of the biggest players to do something like that.
For sure.
She really, that was really dope for her, and we had a good time. It was fun.
I saw her for the first time in person this past NCAA tournament when they played Maryland. And I was like, I thought she was taller.
Oh no.
In person, I'm not trying to be funny, but I thought she was like, I was like, wow.
No.
I was like, okay, because they played Green Bay, if I remember correctly. I was like, who is this killing these guards like that? And as a reporter, he tagged me, he's like, no, that's Diamond Johnson. And I looked, I said, from NC State? Yeah, that's her. I was like,
hooping like that and not tall at all. Little. Like I tower over her.
Well, and should have been a in my opinion, a draft pick.
Oh, absolutely. They played in her face.
Most
absolutely. Because if she was still at NC State or anywhere else, she would have definitely got drafted.
Yes, and knowing one of our picks that's now out for the season, kind of makes it justified that she should have been drafted. But
yes,
that's neither here nor there.
Yes.
You know, you being a part of the committee, I know you've been with it for some time now. I have to throw you on the spot. If you had to, if you were on a stranded island, which three are with you on the island?
Okay. One, Dolores. Dolores is resourceful. Let me tell you, I have never met, especially anybody this young. He could drive. I mean, we won't have a car, but the fact that he can do this, because I can't do this. He was like, oh yeah, these interstates run this way and these interstates run this way. So if I just go this way, I know that I get back right here all the time. And I know this, that it is. Why do you know that? Like, he just has so much, like, just weird little knowledge. Like, you have a phone. You don't have to know that. Like, but, you know, I'm not taking Brandon. Love you, Brandon, but no. Who else? Rob. He's just really smart and resourceful. And I feel like, yeah, he's really smart and resourceful. And I feel like he knows so many people that somebody would definitely come looking for him. And who's gonna be either Yana or Shay? Yana or Shay? Shay. Yeah, Shay. She's handy. She could build stuff and figure stuff out and give me some.
I wrote on my notes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel.
What keeps you guys as a group going, and especially with being so passionate about women's sports?
I think especially now since our split, We don't agree on everything, but our common goal is the same. And the way that we see like just how certain things are covered, how certain people don't get this, how they do certain teams, how they do certain things, we all can see that and agree on that. Now we might not agree on like every little thing and this is wrong, because we argue all the time, but I think our common goal is the same and our common like dislike for a lot of the things is the same. So I think because of that, we keep going and we good. Now, before that, not so much, but now I think that's what keeps us good.
So when you guys formed it, now obviously we know how, especially with media coverage towards the W, particularly ESPN, and seeing how now everybody is trying to stick a syringe and trying to get as much cash out as possible. How do you keep, number one, making sure that you're still able to not only tell stories, but you're also still killing narratives, whether that's like against South Carolina or against a certain player of a certain, like Las Vegas, Asia, doesn't matter. Like, how do you guys find that balance?
I think for me, personally, I always try to say say what I have to say. Sometimes you can't say it in a nice way, right? But I try to say what I have to say in a very polite, not super professional, but just in a easily digestible way. But the truth be told, if you true to yourself, you just got to be willing to turn some money down. Because I didn't turn some down, and I probably need it because I'm not in a position that I
feel you. I've done the same myself.
You got to be in a position, and I've done it. But you're not gonna make me change who I authentically am, and you're not gonna make me change what I'm here for and what I want to say. I have to be me. So you really just got to be willing to just be like, fine. I've been, and I have. And some people might think you should have done that. You probably should have did this. No, I'm okay. I'll be okay. I'll be better for it. But you just got to be willing to say, nah, I'm good.
No, I've learned that when I listen to you guys, even whether you do spaces or whether the committee, I've tried to like learn as much as possible, especially kind of like deciphering how to, I guess, try to make sure that everyone's like there's truth in some things, but also too, it's where it's coming from. Like, for example, a couple years ago, we had 3 players, Asia, Stewie, and AT, all had phenomenal seasons. But, you had a journalist on TV, well, it wasn't TV, but it was basically an interview saying, well, Stewie's going to win MVP. I voted for Stewie because of blah, 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 blah. But kind of being disingenuous to the other 2 players. And then when you see the votes and all the other things, like, well, you kind of are being disingenuous and you're not like saying, but my point is, like, when you see kind of how the stories and how players have been covered throughout the season, like, for example, Las Vegas, they have a super team. Well, then, like, I'm looking at New York, for example. Well, don't they have a super team too?
Right.
But then Connecticut is, okay. They had one player that was an MVP that was with them, went down 95 to New York.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like there's a better way you can tell the stories, and also to like do your job in terms of how you're breaking down the season. You even mentioned that, I think, at one point during the collegiate season a couple years ago when it came to like national player of the year, even coach of the year, especially the X's and O's debate. That was pretty good. That's one of my favorites.
Right. Yeah, I think people just have to acknowledge that they're biased, and a lot of people don't want to do that. And a lot of people think when you call them out on their bias that you're attacking them, because people's egos are fragile. So they think that you're attacking them, but it's really just, no, sister, like, that's bias. Like, we're not mad. I'm not attacking you, but because I got mine. Because my bias is gonna be black women every second of the day, and I'm fine with that. But I feel like I know that. I know my bias, and I know it every time.
Yes.
I just think we just have to be honest about it, and I don't think a lot of people want to do that. And I think a lot of people have a set in their mind of who they want to be the best or who they think is the best, and it changes naturally.
For sure.
Just
I agree with that. This past collegiate season, we saw a lot this year. The last couple of years with NIL, where it's at, and then the transfer portal this off season, which is like almost over 25%.
yes.
We got to fix that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
But I know you talked about it. If you, I'm gonna ask you, if you had to change one thing about the transfer portal, what would it be?
I give you one freebie. You could transfer anywhere, freebie. After that, you can't just be going with it, Millie. That's mine. Now, I will give you some caveats, like if the coach leaves. Okay, I'll give you a little caveat there. But I give you one free pass, do your thing. After that, you can't just be doing the most. Like some people transferring each year. You gotta relax. You know what I mean? Like when the girls graduate and they go for their last year, I'm cool with that. If you just realize you really don't like it and you need to leave to another school, I'm cool with that. But you're going 2 or 3 times. It's a bit much. It's a bit much.
I feel as though your freshman year, you should not transfer.
Okay. I see that because you're a freshman. You're going to hit some adversity. That's how it goes.
Especially if you're – okay, example. Maryland had 3 freshmen this year and 1 redshirted. So I'm thinking like, oh, she's going to transfer. And she did not, which I'm happy she didn't because she learned behind Christina, Allie, and she's more likely going to get playing time this upcoming season. But then as opposed to, well, a couple years ago, I did see like a 4-star recruit. They got playing time, especially against the non-conference. And now they're at the 3rd school and then not at Maryland. So,
yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Yeah. Freshman year is going to be tough.
Yeah. And then the NIL stuff, I get it. I understand, like, when you're 18, you're making
so much
money, but also too, like you choosing a school that, the next 4 years of your life.
Right.
That's kind of that's like an adult decision because you live on your own, you're independent to an extent, but.
Yeah. But then to make some of these kids be making such big decisions, and I think they'll be making them based off emotions instead of what they really should do. And I think that's going to get them in trouble too.
Do you have a favorite so far who won the portal? Please say Maryland.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Really?
Yeah, no, for real.
I thought you were going to say Ole Miss. I
no.
think really?
Mm-mm. I think it's Maryland.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's Maryland.
Okay.
Because I think.
Am I dreaming?
No, I do. I think it's Maryland. I think Maryland picked up pieces that they really, really, really needed. Pieces that I think fit well. Pieces that I think will do what they got to do. Pieces that I think you can slide in, but you still got a lot of the stuff. You already still got other stuff that you had that you can mesh really well. I don't see a lot of chemistry, question marks. All right, is this gonna work? Question marks. I think Ole Miss picked up a lot too, but I think they'll be fine eventually. But early on, I'm kind of like, okay, this is a lot. What we gonna do to make this gel? And true. I don't see those same question marks in Maryland.
Do you think South Carolina should be? I would think 3rd on that list. In my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're portal pickups are. But see, Dawn, to me, she does a good. Like I feel like her, Brenda, Gino, and Dawn picked up pieces that I feel like they really needed, really good pieces, like solid.
Now, Dawn's got a good recruiting class coming in this year. My understanding is correct. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I think Maryland will be my portal winners.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Speaking on that really quick, she had her statue unrivaled the other day. How'd you like that?
I loved it. First of all, the whole ceremony was like church, but that is so stuck in my mind. Like, I mean, it's so churchy. Like, I would not expect anything different. That's us. They're my people. I'm gonna stand beside them. I'm gonna stick beside them. But it was definitely church. It was church. It was church. It was church.
I apologize. I didn't mean to go off topic. That was one of my questions earlier I meant to ask. I'm sorry.
It was church, but it was really dope. I liked it. It was definitely church.
And then I had one other question. You and B Terrell went over to France.
Mm-hmm.
How did you enjoy that experience?
It was crazy. I did not like the food. And it was freezing. But it was a good time. The margaritas were really good. They didn't give you like I think I had a margarita pizza because that's all I would eat in a margarita every day, maybe twice a day. But the alcohol there wasn't like here. Like you could drink that and you'll be fine. Like you might have a little buzz, but it's not like here. You drink a margarita here, I drink 2. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. There, nothing. And we went to see 50 Cent. Saw 50 Cent in Paris. 50 Cent and Jeremiah. Yes, it was good. We was on the floor too, and it was not expensive.
Really? Floor. I can believe it.
Yes. Then we went to Disney World. It was freezing, but it was fun. So yeah.
No, you say freezing. Are we talking like here on the East Coast, for example, like 40, 50 degrees?
No, worse, colder.
30.
I don't, and in the wind, it might have been worse. It might have been lower than that, but the wind and it was really cold, like freezing, like yeah, it was cold. Okay. Like I had to go buy some more clothes. Cold. Yeah, it was that cold. Like, but yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
I like that. I one other question before we transition to some WNBA. I know you also mentioned that one time you were also a teacher, and I know sometimes you use your what you learned as being an educator in trying to also make your points across, especially when it comes to making sure that number one, that hey, like these are the points that we're trying to make people aware of, and also too, I've also noticed as a educator, especially in the spaces, it brings a sense of calmness. Because this one space, I can't remember what space it was, but you just came in there and it just was like, damn. I really like I left this space. I was all calm and stuff. I was just listening, like I was all pissed, like what, and then you came on and it just was like,
calm.
What happened? Like that was a calm app for a second.
Yeah, man. When you dealing with them kids, 7th graders, you just gotta fight. You have to bring a sense of peace and know how to like talk to people and get them to calm down. Be assertive, but not like nasty. I think that's just what it is. Assertiveness without being nasty in a calming tone. Because you have to be that a teacher. Because if you're not, they're gonna flip on you. So that's all it is. A lot of this is just teaching.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned. I know a while ago you mentioned it with. You did the same, like a similar example when Malaysia recently just transferred, and what was the comparison where it was like, I'm gonna say student A, let's say you're a classroom of 20, right? You know, like student A, you said something along the lines of, you can correct me if I say something wrong, but you know, he may need a little bit of attention, X, Y, and Z, versus student B, I know
you can leave him alone.
No, and he's good.
Yeah,
so,
it's just a balance thing. That like when people were talking about like her starting or her this and that, and I just would feel like, you know, everything all the time, not just basketball or on the court play. For one, I think the conversations around her were a bit disingenuous because it would have been different if she was coming in and efficient and doing everything she had to do. And sure, I think we could have more of the conversation that people were trying to have, but she just simply didn't. So I felt like some of the conversation was just disingenuous anyway. But yeah, like certain stuff, just if you could have different relationship with different students and I can't let you fly out the handle and I got you, okay, I'm good here and I can let you do this. And it's just different. And I don't think everybody understands that. Like even down to how you talk to certain students. Like this student, I know all I got to do is look your way and do like this and you good. But this student, I gotta say, you come here now. Get them and get in their ear and be like, you got one more time. Some students, you got to say, hey, let's talk. You know, you're having a bad day today. So what's this? It's just different. It's just different. And that's just the name of the game.
Is there something you would ever consider going back to?
No.
Like, no.
No.
Not even on the college level, like a professor.
No.
Okay. I respect it.
Mm-mm.
Pre-K, kindergarten. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Hell no.
I'm kidding. We're going to transition with the WNBA. This season is almost underway. Preseason. So we already know that team in New York, Super Team 2.0, won the championship. Won last year, and we've seen a lot this offseason. Obviously, DT retired, and this draft class was something. I really think this draft really kind of set the tone for what next year's draft's going to look like. I personally I think it was very first and foremost, I think after Sonya was drafted, that's where I knew the draft was going to go.
Yeah, it was a shit show. It was a shit show.
What do you like so far what you're seeing? I know we've only seen a couple of preseason
Sonya did good. Kiki looked at that girl like, girl, please. That was funny. Isaiah James did well. She is trigger happy. It's just not my type of player, but she did well. JJ Quinley did well. Oli and I did good.
Yes.
Paige did fine. Yeah.
I mean, it's only one preseason game, so I mean, I think some of us are expecting them to come right out the gates, and
no,
it doesn't work like that.
Not at all.
I will say I'm a little surprised of already we haven't even played regular season. You're already seeing season-ending injuries.
Yeah, not a lot, but
starting to see some.
Yeah, already.
I saw I think New York might suspend Benaj Ladies.
Her, Megan Gustafson, Georgia, and Katie Lou.
Yeah, she tore her ACL. I was like,
crazy. Yeah.
How did you like the Atlanta's off season?
I think it's interesting. I like it. I'm always very hard on BG because I think her and Camilla both. I feel like they can go be the most down people on the court, and then sometimes they just running through flowers. It pisses me off. But, so I'm very hard on BG, but that's only because she can be so good. So I hope that she comes to Atlanta renewed, because I do think definitely just somebody taking up that much space and just having that much gravity. Of course, they help Rye and Leash. Brianna Jones is interesting. She's really good, but I'm interested to see how she fits in the scheme because she's not as fast. Even BG was kind of a shock because Carl Smesco's system never really accounted for BG. So I'm like,
where does she fit?
Because I know basketball. I'm like, oh, this is great. Yes, new coach. Well, because I like the dream. I'm like, yes, great, new coach, new players. But sometimes, because I know basketball, I'm just like, wait a minute, what this gonna look like? But still, I'm still excited. I think anytime you have a BG and a Bree Jones, just how good she is, it should get better naturally. So we'll see. I'd scream when we got Pow Pow, though. That made me really excited. I wasn't expecting that. I literally screamed.
I mean, I didn't expect her to go that well. No, that was fair. I thought it was really more high second, maybe within the first 5 picks, second round. But I think she's definitely be a good fit. I will say, with Atlanta, I am a little confused on their vision. I know you had Coach Wright there without 3 years. Said that correctly?
Yeah, something like that.
And then I understand the whole thing with before she got there with the whole after the bubble season with all that stuff. And then obviously Ryan was the 1 overall pick, which I still don't know why Washington gets slack for that. We got to let that go. That's neither here nor there. But I've seen like this team built around Ryan, like kind of like on the fly. Like I know, like after this year, like I know obviously everyone's gonna be a free agent. Like is this kind of like would you like a championship or bust or?
Oh no, absolutely not. I think this is how we gonna do it. Like we need to do well. Do we want to keep building on this? Are we gonna go our separate ways though? I don't think it's championship or bust, but I do think it's what this gonna be. Can this be something that we build on or bust? You know, that's what I think it is.
How do you like the Sparks getting Kelsey Plum?
I think it's interesting. I think the takes. I saw these media members say they just get so biased sometimes. Oh, the Vegas just got worse letting KP go and getting Jewel.
No, I think honestly Vegas got better.
Or like they're not that different. Like
no, I would say Jewel's slightly better defensively.
Yeah, and bigger. But I mean, for you to say Vegas got worse by picking up Jewel, that's insane. Yep. And who do y'all think KP is? Like, no shade, but like, I just these media people. I think it's interesting. I don't want her to try to play point guard, but if that's what they want her to do, then that's on her. But they do got that coach that like all that shooting and stuff.
So Roberts, yeah.
So that's on them. I don't know, but I will say the question mark is Rakia out there because I feel like Rakia likes working in the mid range. So I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Sparks. I can't.
And then Seattle obviously still got Sky and NECA, and they got Lee Yuri in that trade. But also, I think in my honest opinion, I think they won that trade because they got more for the next year.
Yeah.
So I kind of see them kind of I wouldn't say rebuilding, but knowing that they can build on this core. Now they got the cheat code and Dominique
and Ezzy.
Yeah. So
and I wonder how long NECA gonna keep playing. NECA.
I give NECA like a good 4.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I get like Sky's got like I think they could both equally finish their careers at the same time.
I could see that. I don't think they either one would ever try to play as long as DT did. I don't think they're interested.
No,
I don't think they're.
Guy, maybe.
You think?
I can see it.
I could. She is a competitor. Maybe, yeah. I don't see that doing it though.
I can see low-key. I can see Chelsea Gray doing it.
You think?
I could be wrong though.
I don't see Asia. I feel like when Asia get to her, Asia gonna be like,
As long as it's not like Maya Moore, for example, where she just
don't piss me off. Yeah, no.
Like we just unexpectedly just left us. Like
Maya, she didn't care about us. So yeah.
Dallas. I know. Obviously, I think they're my sleeper.
You think?
Let me free phrase. Scratch off the record. I think that this team, roster-wise, has more depth, and I think it's a little bit more built for what I think they're trying to build around Enrique. I think obviously last year, all because of the injuries, I think that played a role, and I think trying to build off the conference finals loss, I just don't think they really found that magic. And then also too, I think because of the money, because they were strapped with money. So I think they had to like figure out like, oh, okay. I think everything, in my opinion, I feel like everything depends on the player Terry McCowan.
I think Enrique is just so streaky.
That's true.
And if that's going to be your main scorer, who else do you have that you like go to score besides Enrique? That's my question. Because you got Dejanay on the other side.
Not more defense than the scorer.
Role player. My thing is, who is going to be your go-to besides Enrique? Because if you do not have another one, you're in trouble.
I can agree with that.
I also think, not so much of a hot take, they're going to have to use Ty Harris more. I think Kirk was very intentional about going to get her. Because I think Paige, she'll be fine. But I think she's going to have a lot. It's just different. She's going to have a lot. I think they're going to have to rely on Paige, on Ty a good bit. I think Ty gets some pretty decent minutes too. But if they can find another scorer besides Enrique, yeah. But right now, I'm like, who is that going to be?
I feel like they had it, but they traded her to Phoenix. That's just my opinion.
Who?
Satu.
She was ready to go though.
True.
So you gotta let people go, and I don't think Phoenix is going to be good at all.
I don't have them making the playoffs. No, I'm serious. I don't. Like the more I look at the roster.
Like, what is this?
And like they have no depth. Like this is like
I feel like AT left Connecticut to be in Connecticut 2.0.
And then I think everything really honestly truthfully revolves around how healthy Satu is, because she missed a good chunk of last year.
I feel like she misses every year.
So yeah, I don't see it. I mean, I think Natasha Mack will get meaningful minutes. I think Celeste Taylor will get meaningful minutes, but
there's not the people that you really need to have meaningful minutes.
No, I think Washington and Los Angeles have better records than them.
I can see that.
Now, what's your thoughts on Connecticut? Because I don't know if you know who Nick Andre is. He works.
Yeah.
He he gave me flack the other day because on his show with Jay and Lowe from 9450, he gave me flack for saying, because I predict Connecticut's going to be an 8th seed this year. I think the talent, it's not like what it was last year, but I think what they have got in the draft with Anissa and Sanaya, and then you got Tina Charles, you got Diamond DeShields, like you got some pieces and you can work with.
I do think they have something they can work with, but I gotta see. I know who the coach is, but I'm not super familiar. So I gotta see how it look. I do think he got some good pieces, but I gotta see how it look first. But like, I gotta see how it look. Because they do got some solid pieces. And I think they got people that's gonna work hard. Who they got at the point? Who's their point guard? Who they got as point guards?
They got the guard they drafted last year from France, Leah Leshin.
Okay, is that the other one? Let me see.
They drafted, because I was like, wait a minute, they drafted a point guard last year. They had the 10th overall pick with her. There was a drafted stash pick, if I remember correctly, as well. I know, Marina could play point.
I don't want to see it. They got Lindsay Allen.
It's not really,
yeah.
JC Sheldon.
Okay. I mean, they're gonna have to fight. They might can scrap up to an 8th seed. They're gonna have to hoop. They're gonna have to play though.
True.
They're gonna have to play.
I agree. How do you feel about Indy?
I know it's early, but I expected more from them today. I did.
Well, in fact, Caitlin did not play today because she was out due to injury. But
yeah, but even without her, they got all the people on that team like that.
No, I said I didn't mean to cut you off. My apologies. I said that they're going to finish number 5 as a 5th seed.
I could see it. I didn't think them to be. I didn't think they would be in the game with the Mystics today. And we're gonna keep it a buck. The Mystics put their rookies in, and they had to keep Sophie and Lexi in to win that game. Because Bree couldn't even get her little rookie minutes because they wanted to keep Sophie and Lexi in the game to make sure they won. Damn it, nah.
But see, like that's the part that's another thing that it's rotations. Like who's like,
why are they playing 30 minutes in the preseason game?
Yeah, I don't like that. And especially like again, like if you see like Caitlin go down with an injury like during her season, Like, okay, or you mean she's going to coach why you lean more on your starters more than your bench? Like,
yeah. And Sydney didn't do well at all today, so
yeah. And I know some teams didn't have their first preseason game. I know Golden State didn't have one yet, if I remember correctly.
I'm over it.
Yeah, a lot of people are, and rightfully so, because Cheyenne Sellers was done dirty today. But
I was over them on that expansion drive. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, we've only seen one team, and that was the '98 Detroit Shock.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when you're an expansion team, I don't expect much.
Me either, but what's the vision?
I think right now you're looking at next year, Lauren, and then not maybe potentially Juju.
Okay.
I mean, I don't agree with their vision. I thought, like I said, Anissa was right there. I mean, the guard that they got, she's good, but like, you're essentially saying we are essentially tanking right now.
Because then getting rid of Cheyenne, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get that logic at all. Because if that's the case, then that same logic can be applied to the other 12 teams.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't know. It's enough for me.
Yep. And then how are you feeling about Washington?
Oh, I think they're definitely in a rebuild, but I do like the pieces they got. I'm sad Georgia got hurt. But I think they got a good post group. They got Kiki, Kira, and Aaliyah. That's a solid post group. And Stephanie. That's very solid.
Yes.
I think Sonya, I'm interested to see her just grow. I'm trying to think of who I think she could be. She gives me, I think she's a little more than the 3-and-D. I don't want to say just 3-and-D. She could be a little more than that, but that would be if I was her, I'd watch a little Alicia Clark, kind of get in that bag until she can. But I think she can be a little more than 3-and-D. But Alicia Clark vibes is what I'm getting. I would like that for her.
For sure.
Sykes. I don't like her being so ball dominant and her taking all them shots. If she doesn't, that's not. To me, Sykes is a Robin, not a Batman.
I agree. Well, we don't have a point guard.
Right. So at this point, it is what it is. But
that's what it was last year. That was Ariel and Slim doing the same thing.
Yeah.
When Natasha was here, it was like, wait, I'm looking at 3 Robins doing the same exact thing. So
yeah, they need to get just a point guard.
Well, we had one, and she's with Golden State, but it's okay. And we still don't even know who.
Yeah, why did they? Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, but it's okay. I would like to ask as a request to you and the committee to please take it easy on us this year.
Okay.
Of the Mystics, because
Shay not gonna let us go too hard.
But Della Dawn retired, and then now this. Like, another thing I've noticed, I feel like they're trying to completely, like, I wouldn't say completely, but I noticed they're really trying to move off of what Mike Tebow did to an extent, slightly.
Okay. Ooh.
Like,
it's thundering. You hear that?
Yeah, it's doing that over here earlier this evening, so trust me. It was pouring when before I got home. It's like, Jesus. But yeah, no. If I could get Juju here in DC at 27, I'm okay with that.
That'll be dope.
But
Shay would love that too.
Could have we missed on 2 players back-to-back drafts. I wanted Anissa, but that's okay. And Shy. Last year could have got Andrew Reese, but that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know why they. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It is what it is. And then Vegas, obviously. I like I will say their depth is a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely.
Dana Evans, I'm gonna call it, is going to win 6th Winner of the Year.
Yeah. People tripping on her. They talking about, Vegas got worse when it actually got better. Dana is better than what Sid is right now. Sorry.
That is she. I know she didn't. She was she out with injury?
She got
some
injury, not nothing major though.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think Tiffany Mitchell is a great piece off the bench. Oh, she's yeah.
Aaliyah Knight was definitely a steal for sure.
Yeah, she was. I like Bradford too. Just her like energy.
I like her. Yeah, Crystal Bradford. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How you like Harmony Turner?
I'm not a fan, but I think she plays in a school that she has to be super ball dominant. Her Deja Kelly getting in the game before her tells me a lot too.
So that you see Deja Kelly in the minutes she got. How did you like those minutes?
She got ripped twice by JJ Gwendolyn, but she didn't give up. She kept hooping. She got some points, and I mean that's really all you can ask for from the rookies. Like, at least she did that.
Are there any storylines you're looking forward to this upcoming W season?
I'm interested to see how Minnesota does.
I didn't even talk about Minnesota. Damn.
I'm interested just because it's kind of the same thing coming back. No real changes. I wonder, does it get easier to guard and people don't figure them out, or do they do better this year? Because I think they need a big besides Fee. I think Fee does well, but they need a bigger big to me.
Well, the one big I thought they could have gotten this draft, but she retired after the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, I thought she would be perfect for them, but then she just kept getting hurt. So I was like, "Ooh, child, never mind."
Okay. Well, no, never mind. It won't work. No, because it happened before the bubble. No, never mind. She's not a big. She's more of a 4. That's
Who?
okay. I was going to say Lele Coates.
Oh, she could work. Because you don't need nobody who does a lot because you got feet, but somebody like that could work. For sure. But yeah. I'm interested to see how they do.
Yeah. I think their guard play could have got a little better. They definitely need some shooters.
They do.
I think they are a little bit more healthy. I think Diamond, will have more of a bigger role this year.
Yeah. What happened with her?
Injuries.
Okay.
Because especially Maryland, she had the knee injury. Same. It's just injuries here and there. So,
okay.
But she's fully back 100%. So.
Yeah, I forgot. I literally almost forgot about her.
Yeah. And then who's your sleeper this year for the championship? Well, I know it's too early, but
sleeper? I don't think there's a sleeper. I think the contenders are the contenders. I don't see nobody. I don't think it's a sleeper. I think the contenders are the contenders. Okay. I think Atlanta does better than they did last season. But
I agree with that.
If they could catch their stride, though, they really do got some good pieces, but yeah, still not contenders.
Does what's the name get more of a bigger role this year, Naz Hillman? Or does her role stay the same?
Nah, I think her role is pretty solidified. That's what she's good at. Okay. I think that's perfect for her. Okay. I don't think she needs to do no more. Yeah, I think that's perfect. But somebody gonna have to. They need a 4.
I think you got Bree Jones.
You gonna play her and Brittany, BG, at the same time?
No, you can't. That's not that clogs the lane. Someone does have to come off the bench.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I would say. The Naz will have to.
Well, it might have to be her. I think they need to probably keep Maria Cockdang then.
Yeah.
Or Jones.
Yeah.
She could stretch the floor too a little.
See, a player like Cheyenne Parker Tyus would make sense. Or even a player like Maisha.
Oh yeah, she be playing football out there, man.
But my last question, I know I kept you on here longer than I anticipated, but it's all good. I always ask this question, but what is your why?
Oh, child, what is my why? I think now that I'm older, my why, just getting back to who, like, just authentically me. Just, I know a question that I ask myself a lot often is this me? Is this what Lauren wants? Is this what Lauren likes? So I think my why now, here comes my puppy. Here she comes. My why now is just being authentically me and getting back to the little girl, Lauren, that knew what she liked and knew who she was, that what's going to make that little girl happy. What does she like? Forget everybody else. So I think that's my why right now. It's just very authentic, like just getting back to that little girl.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Could you tell what you got? I know you guys, the committee, has been on break since the NCAA tournament. Anything coming up in for you personally, or anything fans want to know?
Might have something in the pipeline. I can't talk about it right now, but I might have something in the pipeline. And then the committee will be back in 2 weeks just to discuss the start of the season.
Does it feel like 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. I feel like we're going to end up having a space before then because it's just so much to talk about. It's just so much.
This year, I think, isn't it the FIBA games too this year?
Is it? I think so. Somebody was talking about, I think so. I think I saw something about that today. This is
and then the Olympic year too. I ain't gonna. Last year that fried me.
Yeah.
Like after once the Olympics for last year came, I just had no energy to go yeah, I can't
Yeah, that was too much. That's what fried the Aces too. They were done. They were cooked.
We really gotta figure out how to really kind of space.
Something gotta give.
Yeah. But
I mean, how? I don't know what you could do. Like now they're trying to expand the league longer. I'm like, I just don't think we need more games.
No, I think 44 is.
And then
it's not too much, but it's not too little.
Yeah,
I think you kind of need to figure out where the season should really start.
And then they made some. Ain't the semifinals going to Game 7 now too?
Yes.
Don't like it. I don't like that.
I feel like it should be 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah. Period. Like, why are we complicating this? Just do that.
Well, I feel like if you had like a first round, second round, like conference finals and the finals, they'd be like 3, 3, 5, 7. Maybe that makes sense, but
right.
No.
Yeah, but anything else, no.
But on top of that, the travel and all that, no.
Kathy gone Kathy.
Yeah, and on top of that too, we're in the midst of still negotiations. So
that lady, we gonna see. But yeah, I hope we have a good season. I'm interested to just see how everything goes.
I'm gonna take a leaflet out of your playbook, your page. You mentioned it a while ago. You hadn't been on social media that much, particularly Twitter. I'm gonna try to stay off it as much as possible, because especially like last year when, I think once the season starts, it's just like.
So what I do is I tweet and get off, and then I mute my tweets so I can't see people responding, and then I go laugh at some other stuff on Twitter. That's what I had to make. That's what I had to do. Because Twitter is fun when it's not just basketball, because it'd be funny stuff. So I had to kind of curate my page that I see funny stuff too. So when I tweet basketball stuff, I would literally mute it. So I have no idea if people are talking to me. That's how you ignore the trolls too. I don't even know you're there because I can't see it.
I still had that one. So you're not going to, what was it? You said, you asked that guy, what was it on his face? You're not going to tell me it was misinterpreted, something like that.
Like,
that was funny.
When the young boy, and I asked him how old he was. Like, the other guy the other day tried to be so smart, talking about, somebody said something about, well, Dawn don't have no natties. And I'm like, okay, but up until 2 weeks ago, y'all were fine instilling somebody's legacy with no natties because she won a Player of the Year. Dawn won too. He came to me and was like, you trying to, and I said, no shade, just facts, but 2 weeks ago, y'all are fine building somebody's legacy without a natty because she had a Player of the Year, so it's cool. It is what it is. why are you trying to shade Paige? This was about Gino and Dawn. I said, well, if you read, it gives you perfect context. No, I said, I put the meme with the holding hands. I said, no, boo, you didn't read. You didn't read. We'll try again. We'll try again tomorrow. Bye.
Now, see what that quote of yours that does ring true to this day still.
It's like, yes, the girls are not smart.
Actually, I did have one more question for. I'm sorry, so I apologize, Lo. And when Dawn made her speech, about the statue, we all know the infamous shot Gino took, where you talk about Asia getting her statue, and then Dawn getting her lick back, which was right. Which was the right thing to do. How did you like that personally?
I did. I loved it because Gino said what he said, and I think it's funny because everybody's like in this revising history. Gino is shady as hell. He been shady as hell for years. Like, why are we acting like Gino's not shady? Who else was he talking about? Who else has one championship and a statue? Stop playing with me. Who else is he talking about? Like, who? Oh, he talking about his players. No, he's not. Because why we say anywhere else in the country? So it was received, and Dawn said what she said, period.
I agree. Because I feel like also, too, like, I think it was also a shot really just not on the women's side, but also men college sides as well, because there's programs that have never, on both sides, have never taste of getting to an NCAA tournament, right? Or let alone winning a NCAA championship. So I think for anyone to get there, and especially like South Carolina, we talked about earlier, like from where they were almost 10 years ago,
right? Exactly.
To now, 10 years later,
it's crazy.
You can't take that away from them,
right? And Gino, like, you've been super, super successful, but you also parity wasn't super high when you were doing that either. It was like, we're gonna respect you to forever, but parity came along and you just got your first one, so pipe down. Don't do too much.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I'm glad she said it.
Yeah, if that was me, I'd have more other choice words, but I'm not going to. I'm going to be respectful.
Okay. Yes.
So I don't need people coming after me. I don't have energy for it at the moment. So, but really quick, could we tell people where they can find you and support you?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at LODXNE. Period.
Oh, you changed it again?
Yes.
It's all good. I'll make sure it's in the description below, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Lo, I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Continue to do big things in this space. Again, I guess that you're one of many people. You're up there as why I'm where I'm at today. So I want to definitely give you your flowers for that.
Thank you.
But definitely appreciate you. And it should be a fun W season.
Hope so.
I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do this year. Atlanta. I know you guys, as far as the committee, already got some big things planned for you guys as well. But and then, yeah, let the games begin, I should say.
Yes. Begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe for our future content. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe, stay dry. Make sure you take your allergy medicine because these because these allergies, this pollen is just crazy, ridiculous. I can't. So, but I'll catch you on the next episode, ladies and gentlemen. Peace. Stay up.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you.